God, I felt like I was walking in the clouds. The journey of a PhD student, it's never an easy one. Your mind has been trained to write and read and write and read and write and read. In that moment, I felt happy that I carried my community. Yes. This community of ours is not very well represented in higher dockets. I hope as I stood on that stage, somebody somewhere opened their eyes.
Welcome to Lead the Shift Conversations. Today, I'm joined by Dr. Mary Okere. Dr. Mary Okere is a lecturer, researcher, and educator whose work explores leadership, migration, and gender equity. Today's conversation focuses on the experiences behind Mary's work, relocating to Australia, pursuing a PhD while raising a young family, and the moments that shaped her understanding of leadership, resilience, and purpose. Mary, it's a pleasure to have you with me on Leadership Conversations today. I'm very excited to have you. So thank you for joining me.
Welcome.
Okay. So I remember the first time we connected, it was in my, I think I just submitted my thesis for my PhD then. And
Yes.
yeah, and I was
Yeah.
trying to figure out like what the next step is for me. I normally, when people finish their thesis, I'll see them submit their thesis. I'll see posts on LinkedIn of people celebrating, yay, I've reached the milestone. But for me, that was not the case. And I reached out to you and you shared your experiences with me. And since then, I've been following your work and your progress on LinkedIn. So thank you so much for joining me today. All right. Could you please tell the listeners and the viewers, introduce yourself, what journey has led you to where you are today?
Okay, so I'll introduce myself I'll start by mentioning my name, of course. So my name is Mary Klasina Nasonga Okere. Now, that Okere normally confuses many people to think that I come from a Nigerian background, but I actually come from a Kenyan background. So yeah, I was born and raised in Kenya, and I have studied in Kenya up until immediately after my undergraduate. I did a Bachelor of Business Management, Finance and Banking. And about 6 months after, I traveled to Australia to do my master's. Well, I came to do my master's, but I was actually following my partner who had come here. So I thought, okay, my parents are people who value education so much, and they were, all right, you are going to join your partner, but as you are joining him, maybe join him and do something constructive too. All right. So join in as you are doing your master's. So yes, and I am passionate about studying. So I came and I enrolled in my Master of Professional Accounting. All right. So that's a little educational background about me. And I came here, joined my partner, did the Master of Professional Accounting, and I was not satisfied yet. So I don't want to spill more beans. I think the questions you're going to ask me, the leading questions you'll ask me, will lead me to reveal whatever happened in between. And yes, so immediately after my master's, I enrolled in the PhD program. I wasn't admitted straightly into the PhD. I went through the Master of Philosophy because I didn't have very solid research background. So they needed to nurture me a little bit. And good thing I was a promising student. So within 2 years, I transitioned to the PhD and finished.
Wow.
Yes. Last year, December, and luckily graduated just a few weeks ago. Yes.
Congratulations
So that's
on
a
that.
little bit about me. Yes.
All right. I'm just going to jump the gun here. So tell me
Yes.
about that experience on the day, because I recently, like a year ago, graduated from my PhD as well. And the
Beautiful.
feeling was
Yes.
surreal. So just tell me about that day, when you finally graduated from your PhD? What was the feeling like?
Oh my God, I felt like I was walking in the clouds. But then again, there were two feelings over there, right? Not really two, but I think there were multiple set of emotions running, you know. Of course, I felt like I was very happy with what was happening, and me and you and I know, and all the other graduates of PhD and the other prospective candidates and the current candidates of PhD who will be watching this podcast, they know the journey of a PhD student. It's never an easy one. All right.
No.
It is never an easy one. So the moment you reach this milestone, it's really something. You know, you feel so fresh. You feel like a newborn. You've been born into the world. But then
Yeah.
again, there's so many questions that get born out of it. What next?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
your mind has been trained to write and read and write and read and write and read. Okay. So after that, um, I felt good, yes. I felt good standing on that stage, putting on that beautiful gown. But then there's always the question of what next, okay? There's always the
Yeah.
question of what next. But in that moment, I felt happy that I carried my community, yes.
Mm.
Um, this community of ours is not very well represented in higher dockets, in
Yeah.
higher learning, the higher learning of PhD and postdoctoral
Yeah.
nature. We are not very well represented there. And it was very, it was, okay, not very surprising, but I think it was quite surprising for people to see, wow, you know, how come this person is putting a different gown from ours, and they realize, oh, this is a PhD gown, because most of the graduates there were thinking, okay, she's just here for masters or doctors or sorry, or bachelors like us, and they were very shocked. And some of them were even approaching me to ask me, eh, sorry, how old are you? I
Oh
don't
my.
mind that question. I don't mind. I normally say I don't mind that question because I've experienced this so much.
Mm.
Even in campus, most of the time I'm normally mistaken for a student, which is fine.
Mm.
I've been a student. I am still a student of life, but it is a good thing. And I hope as I stood on that stage,
Mm.
somebody somewhere opened their eyes to
Mm.
see that, yes, it is difficult. Yes, it is
Mm.
problematic, but it is not impossible. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
I really hope somebody somewhere was able to see that
Mm.
indeed you can transition from bachelor's to master's to PhD and so on and so forth.
Yeah, what I also got from there is that
Mhm.
despite how challenging the journey was to get into your PhD, it's
Yes.
doable, right?
Oh, very doable. Yes.
If Mary can do it, then anyone can do it, right?
Anyone can. Oh, yes. And I
Yeah.
believe anyone can. Yes.
Yeah, that's great. That's amazing.
Mm.
Um,
Mhm.
again, I'm gonna jump the gun. So, looking at
Mhm.
you talked about how you had a mixed feeling of
Yes.
excitement and also the fear of the unknown.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Where you are beginning to wonder what next after many
Mhm.
years of waking up, sleepless nights, trying to
Mhm.
meet up, finish up the thesis, the deadlines, the research, and all
Yes.
that. Your body has
Mhm.
gotten used to that routine, and all of a sudden it stops. So
Yes.
I know okay, it's not very recent for you because you've submitted your thesis for a while now. So meaning that you've been experiencing that. I don't want to use the word emptiness or void, but how have you been
Yeah.
managing? How have you been managing that, or how do you intend to manage fill up that void?
All right. So I want to give credit first of all to my supervisors
Mm,
because at least they saw I was still very young professionally and
mm,
I was still very young in research wise. So I think they felt like, look, it is better we hold this lady's hand until she can
mm,
safely cross the promised land. All right.
mm,
So I started journal publications. I can't really say, let me not call them really journal, heavyweight journals, because I'm still in the pipeline for the journals, but the conference paper publications quite early. In fact, my second year of PhD, I had already started them. So that's what has kept me so well engaged even up to now. It's I'm still trying to unpack the weight of the thesis, but now I'm unpacking it on these small papers. All right.
yeah,
Instead of doing 100,000 words document, at least right now I'm doing sorry,
6,000 or
100,000 pages. At least I'm doing a 60 pages, 50 pages. You know, I'm still unpacking. So it's going down slowly, all right, as I accommodate myself and get used to this new environment. And also as I figure out what I want, all right, because previously I was working as an accountant, a junior accountant, because of course I just finished my undergraduate by the time I was coming here, then doing my master's. So I had not really had that practical hands-on experience very, very well. Not that I didn't have any, but it was quite little. But the thing is, no matter how little your experience is, it counts. All right?
Yeah.
It counts. One okay, so to finish answering that part of the question before I get to what I wanted to say, these people, these mentors, these supervisors have really helped me to transition very nicely until such a time that I am going to be completely independent. All right.
Yeah.
So they are letting go of my hand very, very slowly, the way you
Slowly.
would do to a child. You
Yeah.
start helping them with the walking, and then finally you release their hand
Let
until
go.
they can walk
Yeah.
by themselves. So actually, they play a very important role. I don't know if you are going to jump the gun, but I would jump the gun too, because I think it relates to either of these two questions. So, indeed, it's possible for anyone to join, but there are forces to join in and finishing your PhD and any other studies you want to do. But there are so many forces, of course, that will come at play that somebody might be tempted to be, okay, so if you tell me I can't do it, then it's okay. I think I will just leave it at that. Before I joined this PhD, of course, even you, before you go and buy maybe a certain product from the shops, you will want to ask about it. You see the reviews, right? You want to know, is this product good for the market? Is this product good for me? So you will ask for reviews. So indeed, I went and asked some of the older community members who I saw with PhDs. So I went to ask them, okay, so I want to get into this program. Tell me the do's and don'ts, all right? And unfortunately, I got the the don'ts, Somebody told me, look, you want to join a PhD program? You're too young. I mean, you don't have any experience in the market. You just literally finished your master's. Why are you wasting your time? Why are you wasting your money? Why are you wasting your resources? Right now, you should be concentrating on building a family, okay?
Family.
Instead of wasting time with this thing, which I can bet you nobody ever finishes, right?
Wow.
So that already broke my soul, and it broke my spirit so badly that I had even wanted to quit. But the only disadvantage, or I would say the only advantage, is that I had already paid the school fees for the first semester. Okay. So there was no way I was going to let my money go. I just had to continue. Okay.
Continue.
So when these supervisors received me, they received someone who was already broken. I was like, look, I will only come here, do one semester, and I'm out, because I know I will not make it. Okay.
Wow.
So we are the ones who tear each other down. And I'm not talking about the people I went to ask for. I just told you, I went to ask a community member, someone from the place I come from, someone from overseas, a migrant like myself. So, and they ripped me apart. Okay. So these supervisors had to deal with the psychological bit of me first before they can come to deal with, okay, now let's go to the academic bit. Can we start writing now?
Wow.
And that is why, if I can go back a little bit to the first question you asked me, when I stood on that stage about 3 weeks ago, I hope I gave somebody the motivation that, look, no matter how impossible it looks, it's not that impossible. Okay. All you have to do is to pass through all these so-called barriers, and you have to do them intentionally and purposefully for you to get there. Because honestly, I had given up. I had totally given up. And also, if you fall on the right people, okay, I know what is right for you may not be right for me, and what is right for me may not be right for you, but if you fall on the right hands, and I am so happy, there's a reason why I really accepted to do this interview also, because I in my thesis I talked about creating awareness. How will people out there know it's possible if me and you don't tell them?
Yes.
How will we reach this message to our communities if Kenny calls me for an interview and I'm like, oh no, I think I'm too busy, I can't do this now.
Mm.
No, we must be willing to do something about it. All right.
Mm.
So the fact that someone is willing to say no, I know you say it's impossible, but let me go and fall down. Let me go and fall down, then I'll probably
Pick
know
yourself
it's
up.
impossible. Okay? Yeah. So yeah, pretty much.
Wow, amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
You've summed it all up already. Like you've eaten it. You've left no crumbs.
I've
But
already
anyway,
eaten the
we'll keep going. We'll keep going. All right. I
yeah.
like that you talked about community and
Mhm,
the importance of community, and also asking questions and seeking help, but at the same time being careful who you
mhm,
go and meet for information. Again, those people that you went to meet in the community,
mhm,
maybe the information that they gave, the negative impression that they gave, may
mhm,
have been intentional or not intentional. But it's very important that as individuals, as people, we need to be able to sieve out, good information, useful information out of all the amount of
mhm,
information that we amass every day.
mhm,
So I really
mhm.
like that you shared that story. So thank you, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Now going back to the beginning, you've been in
Yes.
Australia for how many years now?
So I've been here for, I think this is the seventh year. I think I've been
Oh,
here for
wow,
7 years. Yeah, 7 years now.
7 years. Okay,
Yes.
and you mentioned that you came with your husband, right?
So my husband came first.
Okay,
We were not married yet. He was still my
okay,
fiance. But then again,
okay.
of course, any loving or reasonable parent would not want to release their child to venture into the unknown world
Yes.
just like that. So they were, okay, she will join you later. Go first, then she
Mm.
will join you later. Yeah, so he came first. He started his studies in cybersecurity, and then I followed next. So when he said, okay, the land is good enough, she can come over. That's when, yes, that's when I came over. Yes.
Okay, so I don't know if you're the right person to ask why Australia, or that's a question
Okay.
for your husband.
No, I think you can because I've studied here. I mean, yes, I wouldn't
So why
come to
Australia?
study
Why
here.
did you both decide?
Okay.
Why did you decide to come to Australia of all the countries? There's UK, there's Canada, there's the US. Why Australia?
All right. So, of course, Australia is a first world country.
Mm.
Anybody who is living in a third world country or a country less than a first world country will obviously want to go and seek more outside. All
Mm.
right. So, of course, we have a couple of first world countries we know, and I'll group them in terms of continents. We have the UK, we have the US, we have Asia, and then we have Australia, or
Mm.
rather Australasia region. Okay. So, the US is a lovely continent, a lovely country. However, I have my reservations about the culture around there.
Yeah.
So I do not feel like it's very comfortable for me to relocate to the US.
Mm.
Yes, so the UK also is pretty good. However, we personally, I also have my reservations about it. Has several countries, very beautiful countries, which I've some of which I have visited in the last few years and I really love. However, I wouldn't think it would be a good fit for me over there.
Mm.
Now, when we come to Australia, we have had a couple of friends who are already here, and we saw them progress, and we saw them succeed in their studies, and after their studies we saw them succeed in their careers, those who came here with a purposeful mind.
Mm.
And we thought, okay, look, as human beings, we want to see, like I said, the reviews. We want to see the reviews.
Yeah.
Um, really, it worked well for this person, so maybe it can work well for me. Okay.
Mm.
And then if you look at the quality of their universities, of course, very well ranking, and the modern facilities, and they offer something that we cannot find very
Mm.
freely back home in Kenya. So we decided, why not? Let's give it a try. So yeah, majorly it was because of referrals from our friends, and also just out of some background study, we felt
Mm.
like this would be the best place for us. Yes, and
And
it's
you don't
highly
regret it.
multicultural. No, no, I would not say I have any regret. Of
Mm.
course, any place has a disadvantage and an advantage,
Yeah.
but you just have to cope. Yes.
It's been amazing. Thinking back now
Mm.
on my journey, when I
Mm-hmm.
first came into Australia, I've been here for like 8 years or so, almost 9 years now.
Oh,
And
okay.
I remember in my case, I didn't come with a partner or a husband. So I had no
Okay.
family in Australia. And
Okay.
there was a lot of uncertainties, fear of the
Mm-hmm.
unknown, culture
Mm-hmm.
shock, and being a mature age student as well. I came for my master's and then to my PhD. So being a
Okay.
mature age student for me at that time, it was challenging because having to go
Mm-hmm.
to lectures and hearing what the students were saying and not even relating because I was in a different generation from the students and things like that. I remember a particular lecturer came in and said, "Oh, the average age of students in this class are so age," and I was like way older than the average. And my friend and I looked at ourselves and we were like, "Oh, yeah." So, so
Sorry, I
what
have
was
to laugh. Okay.
it's okay to laugh.
Okay.
Yeah. So, what was your own experience? I'm pretty sure that even though you had your partner with you or your husband with you, you still had
Mhm.
your own sort of challenges adjusting
Okay.
to a new country. So, do you want to share one or two
Yeah.
examples? Yeah.
Okay. So of course there was the excitement of coming here, but then when I landed here, there was the culture shock. All right. All starting from the food, going up to the bus, taking the bus. I cannot count the number of times
You
the
be-
bus left me and the train because I'm in a different platform. And at some point I used to call my mom. I don't want to disappoint her.
Mm,
But I used to call her and just cry. But then I would want to tell her I want to come back home. But then when I
mm,
think at the back of my mind, no, 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 no. People have heavily,
invested.
heavily invested emotionally on me being here.
Mm,
So let me take one day at a time. So the good thing
mm,
for me, I had my partner here. And we used to come back in the evening and console each other that, okay, tomorrow is a day to try again. Okay.
mm,
I thank God for him because he's a very positive person. His experience was even far much worse than mine because he had nobody now. At least
mm,
me, I had him, who
mm.
has navigated the system for a year before I came. So at least he would show me around. But then him, it was worse. All right.
Yeah.
But then here we are here to talk about me. So
Yeah.
yes. So there was this issue of the bus because now I used to always get late to go
Mm,
to some of my classes, especially the afternoon classes. I used to get late, and when I arrive, the other students, most of the people I was studying in with were just my age anyway.
mm.
Yes, they were just my age mates, but still, they would not be very happy that I am coming late.
Always
Maybe
coming
we
late.
have a group presentation, and also the lecturers some of them were not very happy. Okay.
Mm.
Sometimes it was because the bus has left me or the train has left me, or sometimes it was because, I missed. I missed the station. I'm still trying to navigate the use of GPS
Yeah.
24/7. So yeah, so I would get late, and it didn't go down very well with them. They didn't like it so much. So for the
Mm.
first few weeks, it was very hard. But with time, of course, as you adjust, things
Yes.
got a little bit better.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's good to know.
Mhm.
Good to know.
Yeah.
So, thank you. So, what shocked
Yes.
you most about Australia? Like you said, you had done your little bit of research before, deciding to move to
Yes.
Australia. But what
Mhm.
shocked you most about Australia?
Now, I want to stick to the context so that we can help the people who are listening to this
Mm,
conversation. I don't want to talk about the food, the buses now, and
mm,
everything. Everybody experiences that in a new place. Now,
yeah.
when I came here with expectations,
Mm,
pregnant with expectations. I'm gonna
mm,
do my masters. I'm gonna get a perfect job. And I was like, even when I get here, probably now that I have my bachelor degree, I'm going to apply for a nice accounting job, and I will get it. Maybe an accounts receivable job, a fixed asset registrar job. I was so expectant. All right. Okay. So when I get here, number one, I was told, my friend, you did not read your visa very well. You're restricted to 40 hours a fortnight. Okay.
Fortnight, yeah.
Okay. So that's the first shocker. I think the excitement was too much. I forgot there's a clause that says 40 hours per fortnight. All right. Okay. So there's 40 hours per fortnight. Okay. The visa has already tied my hands a little bit. Now, second reality, no employer, or rather most employers, are not going to be willing to employ somebody who has workload, or in terms of studies, who has study workload,
Yeah.
and they're only here for 2 days a week or 1 day a week. 40 hours per fortnight is technically just 2 days or something or so per week, right?
Yeah.
I don't want someone who is here for 2 days, and especially in a field like accounting, to come and work for 2 days a week and then they are gone, you know? That is straining the company's resources so
Yeah.
that they go and outsource another person. No, nobody wants that. Okay. And the third reality, I thought my Kenyan degree was going to be recognized.
Tell me about that. Yeah.
I, I thought it was going to be recognized and I will apply for jobs and boom, I get, oh, dear me. No, we want local qualifications. We want local
Experience.
experience.
Yeah.
Okay. So all those high expectations came crumbling down. Well, now I'm down on the ground and I need some money to sustain myself. I know I declared that I have some money to sustain myself, but yes, I'm here. While I'm here, I need to also keep busy. I need to
Yeah.
sustain myself somehow. Yes, so I'm at the ground, and there's some good opportunities for me to work in cleaning,
Yeah.
in caring industry, in the aged care industry. And I know it's a bit problematic for someone who had such high expectations,
Yeah.
but you have to adapt. Okay?
Yes, adaptability.
Any human being who expects to survive has to adapt. Okay? All
Yeah.
right. So I have to adapt. I have to do some of these trainings, certificate 4, certificate 6, I don't remember what they're called, in training, in disability and aged care. And I did them for a couple of months. And now I got into the job market for the disability support jobs. I didn't quite go well with the cleaning jobs because I think they were quite tasking for me. I did one a couple of times and I was so poor at it. I couldn't do it. I applied for a job somewhere as something called a kitchen hand, right? So I had to go and wash so many dishes. I couldn't do it. So it's the uncertain, the stress is coming in so bad. I'm wondering, look, back in Kenya, I had started off after my graduation. I'd started off with a job as a tax accountant in the Kenya Revenue Authority sub branch somewhere around in the city. And I was sitting in a nice, beautiful chair, just rolling there and, getting ledgers in the computer. But then now here, there's this mountain of dishes I have to wash. There's this cleaning I have to do. There's this cold winters. My God, I still don't like winter.
No.
So there's this cold winters I have to endure, and this dream was dying, honestly. This dream was dying. And within these jobs, I met people like me, students like me and you,
Yeah.
who had come here to study. Some who had studied here for years and finished off long time ago. They are even already residents here. They are still in that job. And of course, when you go in that environment, there is, forgive me for saying this, there is an annoying atmosphere of complacency. All right? It's like welcoming someone in a. I've watched these prison documentaries. I love history. So I watch a lot of, I've watched some of the prison documentaries. And, when someone walks in a prison and they're like, okay, welcome, brother, you're home. So I walk in this environment and there's this atmosphere of complacency, like, okay, you're one of us, come. This is what we do. This is what you will be doing 20 years to come. Now that did not sit very well with me. I did not like that. I didn't imagine myself that this is where I want to be 20 years from now. No. This is a good job. It's a very respectable job, but it is not equivalent to my qualification.
No.
Australia wants me as a skilled accountant, all right? I'm even sharpening my skills further by doing a master's.
Yeah.
So why would I be having a master's and you're keeping me in the health sector? in the
Mm.
aged care sector, in the disability support sector? Why? You know, those are the questions I had. And, you know, to quench my curiosity, I even used to ask some of my colleagues, okay, hey, what did you come here to do? Someone is like, oh, I did IT, I did Master of
Oh
IT.
my.
And why are you here? It's like,
Jesus.
this is the
The pay is
drill. We
good.
come, we do as long as we get the money, you know, as long as you're
Mm.
surviving, you're living, you know. Huh. Okay. Um, I didn't like it. It did not sit very well
Mm.
with me. And I asked a very important question. Is there a way out of this? Can we get the jobs we came here, we are qualified to do? I was like, nah, that one, no, that one, forget about it. That one, even if you ever end up getting them, they'll pay you way less than
Mm.
what is paying you here,
Yeah.
you know? That misinformation already, okay?
Mm.
Someone has been so discouraged, so complacent, so sucked in with the annoying system that's working around here, and they want to, okay, infect you with the complacency too.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
not consciously, or maybe it's consciously or subconsciously, but it doesn't matter, it's still getting to you. Okay,
Mm.
so I personally did not want that, because I did not believe that I'm destined to sit in this place and work as support worker, as it's called, support
Mm.
worker, or a
Yeah.
PCA, personal care assistance, for 20 years.
No.
I did not have children back then. And I used to ask myself, if I had a child now, what am I going to, how am I going to inspire this child?
Mm.
And you know, children, an apple does not fall very far away from the tree.
Yes.
You are what your parent was.
Yes.
Okay.
They learn by what they
So,
see. Mm.
exactly. So I don't want my child to be seeing me doing this job, because that is the same trajectory we are encouraging.
Mm.
Okay. That is the same trajectory we are encouraging. So I told myself, no, this is not where I want to be. I will go and ask elsewhere, how am I supposed to get up? Okay.
Mm.
And I researched and I looked for information and I went and asked everybody. And I got all the negative and all the positive answers.
Mm.
But at the end of the day, the decision was with me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I told myself, if I'm going to knock all these doors and nobody's going to give me a job, then I
You
might
know
as
you
well
try.
continue studying. Mhm.
Mm.
Let me continue studying until something comes up. Okay?
Mm.
And I'm not going to study one diploma, another diploma, another diploma. 20 diplomas are not going to help me. Okay?
Mm.
Something higher than what I have
Mm.
might help me. Okay? So that is how I chose to decide, okay, look, I will try knocking the doors of research and see if they will open the doors for me, however
Wow.
green I may look. Yes.
Wow. I like your story, and you and I have a lot in common. There's a lot of similarities there. But just to be clear, just for our
Uh-huh.
audience, the listeners, the viewers, there's nothing wrong with working in aged care or the healthcare sector. It's just an
Uh-huh.
individual preference. Everyone has got
Yes.
their dreams and their
Mm-hmm.
aspirations and what they would like
Mm-hmm.
to achieve. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not the same for everybody. So we're
No.
not condemning working
No,
in
we are not.
healthcare. It's just,
No.
yeah. And just
Mm-hmm.
to go back a bit, I also liked a statement you made. I had it in my head already, but then it's
Mm-hmm.
been a while you said it. Something about
Okay.
if you want to succeed as a
Mm-hmm.
person, so this is not verbatim, it's just paraphrased. If you want to
Yes.
succeed, then you need to be adaptable. And
Yes.
I want to hold on to that because it's a very important message for anyone that's listening to us today. Because
Yes.
if you are set in your ways, you don't want to adjust. For example, you come into a new country and you're not getting what you expected. For example, you have some experience from back home, but then you
Yeah.
didn't find a job. But for a while, you accepted other forms of job, even though you were not
Yes.
good with them. But at least you were able to adapt until you found the
Yes.
one that you were looking for. And that's what I
Yes.
just want to hold on to today. So
Mm-hmm.
thank you for sharing that. Now, you talked
Yes.
about these experiences. Did
Mm-hmm.
they change or impact your identity, your personality, your person? Did they impact you in any way? How did that impact you? All the experiences that you've shared.
Okay. So one thing about having a goal or a dream, I really like giving examples. I'm sorry. I love giving examples. Okay.
Yeah.
So if, for example, today is Sunday and I promise myself this week, I really want to have pizza for dinner. Okay. On Monday, tomorrow, I end up having a cup of tea and a sandwich. On Tuesday, I end up having a banana. On Wednesday, I end up having a mango. You might be tempted to forget. There's this certain tendency that comes, you might be tempted to forget that, oh, I really, really wanted to have this pizza. Now, I will go back to the reality, the application here. You have this dream, okay? I wanted to be an accountant in a first world country and see how that looks like. And Australia already told me, we have given you this visa so that you can come here and bring us your skills as an accountant. Okay? Now, I came here with that dream. But for a moment when I arrived, and even after I had settled in quite well, I was still not getting there. And I was in this environment where there's too much complacency, too much negativity, too much emotivation. Is there something I want like that? There's no motivation, all right? There is no motivation, okay? So somehow it tarnishes your identity. Such that by the time I was clawing out of this bucket, I'm writing a book right now. It's called Crabs in the Promised Land. Okay, there's this philosophy. I think I've forgotten the name of the philosopher who came in. I think it's a common philosophy whereby when you put crabs in a bucket, okay, instead of them, clawing out and trying to help each other to get out, what do? They pull each other down. Okay? They pull each other down. Where are you going? Get back down here. This is where you belong. You belong down here. So after clawing out of this bucket, all right, I'm out, yes, but then I still have a lot of scratches. I have a lot of scratches. I am in this office entrusted to sit down and do tax accounting for somebody's organization. And I'm still looking to see, oh, is there a mop somewhere? Can I do some cleaning? Those scratches exist. Yes. It tarnishes your identity. Because I walk in that building and I feel like, oh no, I think I'm not good enough. Should I go and look for a mop bucket and start mopping? Funny thing. Exactly. For the longest time, I used to tell myself, no, I'm not like that. That can never be me. But it happened to me until I had to go. I had to go to a counselor and ask him, what is wrong with me? Why am I feeling this way? Is there something wrong with me? And no, honestly, the scratches are left, it changes your identity. It took me at least a year and a half or something for me to build up, patch up this dream again. Okay. So the one clear message I want to tell my brothers and sisters, whoever is listening out there, try as much as you can to run after your dream as fast as you can before your entire identity is killed. Because indeed, that complacent space kills your identity. I struggled so much. This PhD exposed me to a wide audience. I normally say a PhD is like a visa or a passport to it opens so many doors. Okay.
Yes.
So it opened a door of an opportunity to be a lecturer for me. But I would walk in the class like I am the person who is meant to clean the blackboard. I was scared of the students. This is something I was not before I came to Australia, because before I came to Australia, I had even started doing graduate assistant roles of teaching, like an assistant lecturer, yes, of teaching students, and I was so good at it. But then all of a sudden, I'm so poor. I'm so poor at it, because of what this space has done to me. All right. So it changed my identity. Yes, I can confirm on that question. Yes. And it took a lot of building again. I had to build my image. I had to reconstruct. again to bring out this confidence. Okay?
You have to remind yourself who you are.
Yes, to remind myself who I am. All right? So, for all our brothers and sisters who are sitting out there, don't sit in that complacent space for far too long, because that will be your second nature now. That identity will overshadow your real identity, and that is what you will become. And sad to say, I have seen very many people have already been sucked into that identity. All right? Such that, unfortunately, instead of most of our people gaining confidence and gaining motivation in the fact that, oh, look, one of us has made it. And I have heard statements like, she's just lucky. You know, that is sad. That is very sad. Okay. For someone like me who has done a research that is meant to help each and every one of the migrant communities, I feel sad when I hear such statements, nah, leave her, she's just lucky. Really? It makes me very sad. All right? So don't sit in that complacent space too long, because it will injure your identity. Yeah.
Thank you. You're just throwing nice quotes and nice analogies. Thank you so much. I
You're
love the
welcome.
analogy you used of the crab and
Yes.
how we all carry invisible scars.
Yes.
Sometimes we think we are fine. We think we are okay. I've dealt with it. I've passed through that phase of my life. I'm okay. But if we don't actually sit back and intentionally try to, fix those scars, maybe through therapy or constant reminder of who we are, we just like we tend to react based on those invisible scars or
Yes.
scratches that we carry. So thank you so much for that analogy.
Yes. These experiences can tarnish our identity such that we feel a little bit smaller. But then again, there's the other side. They can tarnish our identity such that we want to step. We want to be the crabs who want to step on other people. No, 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 don't get out. Okay? Now, when you look at a situation like mine, okay, somebody, a fellow woman, told me, no, 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 you cannot do it. You don't have any know-how. You cannot do it. No, you leave it. You see, she would have locked the door on me just like that. But I want people to make that choice. It's your choice. It's nobody else's choice. If you want to remain in that complacency out of your own will, no problem. At least you will know you chose it. All right?
But don't
But
bring people
don't
down.
let another person choose it for you. Don't let another person choose that complacency for you. It shouldn't be the case. No. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. So
Yeah.
you may have answered this question earlier, but I would ask
Mm-hmm.
again because
Okay.
that's the old foundation of leadership conversations. So
Okay.
when you look back at your
Mm-hmm.
life, your
Mm-hmm.
journey, your
Mm-hmm.
experiences, what situation, really transformed your life the most? What made the most shift in your life? Maybe before coming to Australia or even during your time here in Australia, what experience has, led to a major shift in your life?
Now, of course, I came to Australia quite young. Of course, I was just around 26 or 25 years old. Yeah. At that time, of course, I was just still, so of course, living and just studying. Yes. And of course, the challenges and everything. Now, of course, one of the major shifts is when I became a mother. I thank God, and that was a shift in a good way. Now, I will talk about whatever is impacting our audience clearly, and what to expect and how to react to that shift. I don't know I think you can resonate with me on that. It is my unique experience. You have your own unique one too.
Yeah.
When I was doing this PhD, all right, I got to see several aspects of life, and several things that, God, they shaped exactly how I have become. And I decided to choose compassion over anger and bitterness and, can I say it strongly, revenge or something like that. Okay. Now, PhD is not always a very smooth journey.
Nah.
And PhD, similar to employment, is not always a smooth journey. You might find there's there's bosses or there's supervisors in your workplaces who just don't really, I don't know if they don't like you or okay,
Mm.
they don't just treat you so well. Okay, even colleagues. All right, so you will find that you're having a bit of a hard time. Okay,
Mm.
and sometimes you might be forced to quit even your job and like, okay, I think I've had enough, I want to quit. Okay, now I'm lucky I got some good supervisors who
Mm.
helped me along the way. Although I also had some experience whereby some of some components of this journey were a bit hard. All right, they were a bit harsh. They were a bit hard, and wow, at some point I walked in a meeting one day, and that was the day I was saying, look, nice to meet you. I'm happy we
Mm.
got up to this stage, but I think I'm done for my
I'm
own
done.
mental health. I think I'm done.
Mm.
Yes. And good thing one of them picked it up before I could even say it, because I
Mm.
was aching to say it. Look, I'm done. Look, bye. I think I'm done. All right. And that was almost in the final lap.
Mm.
But I was tired. I was having a mental breakdown, honestly. It was getting too hard. But one of them picked it up and tried to it's a continuous process of engaging and
Mm.
a disengaged student. You are a learning facilitator, you know that.
Yeah.
You engage a student when they look like they're disengaging. Okay.
Mm.
Now, all of us have had these experiences. We have had somebody who does not really probably appreciate our work or something like
Yeah.
that. But the main thing here is just to try and remain consistent.
Mm.
Try and remain consistent wherever your experiences have been, because for me the highlight of the way I got to really know how life is and how things will be out there was the time I was doing this PhD.
Mm.
Things were not very easy, but then again things were not somewhere along the way the right people came along.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. So you had the
Yes.
right people in your corner. So what
Mhm.
other sorts of tools or magic did you help push yourself through that, very serious, challenging time during your PhD?
Okay, the first go-to person, of course, is my husband. I mean, he's a very positive person because I think when I go back to the complacent environment, as well as the pressure, the peer pressure outside,
Mm.
everybody was telling me, why are you wasting your time? Everybody's enjoying themselves. People are going for holidays. People
Mm.
are living their lives. You are busy drowning yourself in books. Okay.
Mm.
And, I have to do literature review. I have to do
Oh, yeah.
everything. And it was so bad that my 2-year-old, the only thing she knew her mother knows how to do is to wake up and open the laptop.
Oh, my.
One day, this girl literally took the. I just woken up, so I just sat down and put on the TV. So she went and took the laptop, and she's bringing it to me.
Oh.
I think that broke me in ways I cannot even imagine.
Mhm.
You know, God, I was so broken, and I think that's when I said, "Look, this is not worth my life. No, okay."
Mm.
And I said, "Look, I'm going to quit." But
Mm.
I thank God because of my husband. He really helped
Mm.
me. He encouraged me. And I tried to strike a balance between parenting
Yeah.
and my
That's good.
work, because I also have work out there. I have my children. I have
Mm.
commitments from overseas. I have my parents. I have relatives, in laws. Everything is one person, honestly, one person who can barely put it together. Uh, it was hard, but I had my partner. And one consistent thing that I cannot forget, I am a very staunch Christian.
Mm.
So prayer gives me hope.
Mm.
It removes that burden that I have. So whenever I pray, and I
Good.
mean,
Big.
we
Mm.
all have our religion and beliefs. As long as you pray, everything. Most of the time, you get that energy, that faith, and then now you
Mm.
move to the practical bit of things. Yes.
Wow. Wow. Thank you for sharing that.
Mm,
Now, you mentioned earlier that your research was about migrants. So, do you want to tell us a little
yes.
bit about what's your research topic about and why did you choose that research topic? Did it fall on your lap or you actually opted for the topic?
So I think I'm one person who's always been passionate about leadership. And initially I came with the topic of gender parity in leadership. I think that was, if I don't remember it very well, but it was something to do with gender parity in leadership in Australian organizations. That is something I came up with. But along the way, not along the way, as I started, the way they normally help us to decide, look, this is so over researched, maybe try this, maybe try that. Now, along the way, when I sat with my supervisors and they were like, okay, so gender parity and gender equality, they call it gender equality here. I think over in Kenya, they call it gender parity. So here, gender equality is something that has been quite researched a lot. But why don't you look at it in this dimension of migrants, and more specifically, skilled migrant women, all right? And more specifically in leadership. Because this particular topic, my topic is exploring the leadership pathways of skilled migrant women in Australia, the barriers and enablers. Okay. Now, nobody has ever looked at that, at this particular topic. Only one particular person looked at it in terms of higher education sector. And this person also concentrated much on Asia Pacific region. This beautiful little dark continent called Africa, nobody ever looks at that. Okay? Nobody ever looked at that, but we are here. And some of us are doing well. If not all of us, even the ones who are in the aged care sector, every sector, we are keeping this economy running. Okay?
Yes.
Now, why can't we see much of these women in leadership representation? And who is speaking for them? And whoever is speaking for them, are you speaking a unified language, or are you warming the bench in whichever office you're sitting with? Huh? I really wanted to know. So when my supervisor suggested that, I was, actually, I'm interested, because this is something this is talking about me. This research that I'm doing is talking about me.
So it was
And
personal to you.
it was so personal. I mean, these interviews with my participants, they used to get so personal until I had to introduce a segment in my methodology called researcher positionality. Because I was so well positioned in this research that there was a high potential of biases.
Bias, yeah.
But then again, the biggest advantage of this research is that finally, these women were getting heard by an insider. So there was a very good element of an insider perspective. Because if you come and ask someone from Africa, and you are probably from an Anglo background, you come and ask them, so how is your leadership experiences? 99% chance they will just tell you, no, it's all right, everything's good, everything's working. All right? They will not really give you the correct information you need. One, because obviously there's the element of trust. Okay? But they will trust this person who looks like us to give that information.
Yes.
So I will give a shout out to those women. I hope they will watch this, because they spilled all the beans. They told me everything I needed to know. And one thing I love about this research, every time anybody opens to look at the discussion and the excerpts from these conversations, everybody's shocked. Everybody is so shocked, and everybody is just dumbfounded. This research has gone all the way to Europe and to across the world, and everybody who reads it, is seriously astounded by these experiences. Okay?
You must be so proud of yourself.
And there is just too much. In fact, I feel like I've barely just scratched the surface.
Wow.
I feel like there's too much work. And honestly, I don't think one person can do that work. That's why I want more of us to wake up. To wake up and do these studies so that we bring them to light. Okay? So that we bring them to light so that real change can happen. And also for those of us who are already at the top and who are probably not doing much, or probably trying to step on the heads, please, this is an opportunity for you to shift. Okay? Just like your podcast says, lead the shift. I like that topic. Okay? Lead the shift. Can you shift and start encouraging more? Okay? Don't shun away from me because okay, this is just another
Mm,
Kenyan. Okay, fine. No, I don't. No, no, no,
mm,
no, no, no. Let us look at each other as people with a common goal, and that is the only way we are ever going to rise up. That is the
mm.
only way. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you. That's
Yeah.
very encouraging.
Yes.
Okay, so I am aware that you have two
Mhm.
young children. I myself
Okay.
I'm a mom, I'm a single parent, so challenging it's been challenging or it was challenging,
Hmm.
having to
Hmm.
shuttle between working
Hmm.
full time, being a
Hmm.
full-time PhD student, being a full-time
Hmm.
mom, no. So it
Hmm.
was very stressful and I'm
Hmm.
surprised that I was able to successfully finish my PhD. Just like yourself, I almost threw in the towel and said, I'm done. I'll
I'm
settle
done.
for a masters of philosophy and
Philosophy.
good enough. Yeah, I'm done. But
Yes.
thank
Hmm.
God that I
Hmm.
got the encouragement as well to keep pushing. So why
Yes.
I gave that sort of brief is just to ask you, so how were you able to manage
Mm-hmm.
the multiple responsibilities, the different hats that you've had to wear as a wife, as a mom, as an employee, as a student? How have you been able to manage, your time and your responsibilities?
I think one thing I can say for sure, the human mind. I'm not really a medical doctor. I first of all, before I started doing my bachelor's in business management, I had been enrolled to do a medical course. All right, but I didn't I didn't really like it so much, so that's why I left it and decided, let me, I think I'm more business minded. Yes, but I'm not really a psychologist. But one thing I can say is that the human body and the human mind is an
Mm,
amazing, is so amazing. I think we are capable of doing so much, and especially women, I think we are capable of doing so much more than we think. All right,
mm,
it is this, I will call it complacent atmosphere that makes us doubt ourselves, but I think we are capable of doing so much. Now, the only way you can also be capable of doing so much is if you have peace of mind and
mm,
support. Okay? When your mind is at rest and you have enough support, I think you can do wonders. I'm
mm,
honestly shocked and surprised at myself. Look, I had my first baby just as I was beginning PhD. She was only
mm,
2 months old when I
mm.
attended the first class. And I was with
Wow.
her there, I'm carrying her, I'm in class. It was
Oh
online that
my.
time. It was just after COVID, I think. That was 2022, February 14th. I will never forget. That was the first class. And I was just there with her. She was 2 months old. And I survived with her
In
and I
class?
survived with her. Yes, in class.
Oh,
Oh, no, no, it was online though.
online. Okay,
Yes,
okay.
online, not physical. But yes, but it was online. And the lecturer wants participation. So before I could
Mm,
start speaking, I used to tell the class, I'm so sorry, I have a small baby here. Please bear with me. And they
mm.
were so understanding. Most of them were very mature entry people who have their
Yeah.
kids all grown up already. And they were like, don't worry, we were once there. And I loved that
Mm.
encouragement. I
Wow.
loved it because this is an environment that I saw something different from what I've been seeing in the workplace. Okay, in that beautiful workplace of support work that I was doing, but
Mm,
this was so accommodative. So I was okay. So you understand my situation? Okay, that's good. That's a good step. So they were very accommodative. Then before I know it, I I had my second baby. Now I had my second baby at a very crucial time. That time I was doing my ethics application. And I did not even tell my supervisors that, look, you people, I'm having a baby. They knew about this baby 3 weeks ago when they saw her in the graduation.
oh my goodness.
Because I knew if I am going to tell them that I have a child, they would force me into a compulsory 1 year leave.
Mm,
And I didn't want anything to disrupt this journey. I was that determined. Okay? So I'm a cesarean section mother.
mm,
I went to theater at 6 p.m. to have my second child. And by midnight, around 2 a.m. or something, after the baby has slept, I'm still hurting from the scar. But I
yeah.
was on the laptop doing that ethics application because the ethics committee was sitting the following morning. My gynecologist came in and told me, what is this that is so important that you are sending right now? that is more important than your rest. I mean, you just had a baby. And
Wow.
I told him, Doc, one day I will invite you to come and witness whatever it is I'm doing. I was in so much pain, of course, but I was doing that. I was winding up on that ethics application, you know? So if I look back at this experience, everybody I tell this is like, oh dear, how, you know? But
Yeah,
even me myself,
I'm
if I
thinking
look,
the same. How dare you? How dare you?
even me right now, if you ask me that question, even me, I can't answer you. I can't. You know, I wrote that application and it was so good. And it was ticked off on the first go.
Wow.
And and Professor Roslyn was so shocked when she came 3 weeks ago and she found two babies. Okay, whose child is this?
Where did the
But
other one
but
come
she's
from?
yeah, but she's dressed the same as her. So are they sisters? Whoa, you never told me you had a second kid.
Wow.
She was so shocked until she even shed tears. They were so shocked. You
Mm,
know, it was so shocking. But I thank God for my partner. My husband
mm,
was so supportive. So supportive. I did the ethics application. I completed it. And even after you are discharged from the hospital, having a baby is a lot of work. Having a toddler
mhm.
is a lot of work. But somehow I survived. All
You
right.
did.
And that is why, if you look at my situation, I did PhD in such a time whereby it would have been technically impossible for anyone to do it at such a time.
Mm,
Now, you out there who have probably no babies or toddlers to bothering you here and there, okay? You have your own free time and everything. Maybe your children are all grown up, or maybe your children are, at that reasonable age where you understand each other. Okay, mommy has to work for 3 hours. What is stopping you from doing that? What is stopping you from doing
mm,
that? Because I would wake up early. I would make sure their milk is in order and
mm.
everything is in order. I make sure I clean. I'm also a wife, so I have to do my duties as a
Yeah.
wife, make sure the house is clean and everything, organize everything. Then I sit down and do my research. Then I still go to work. And I used to do night shifts, you know, as the support job. I used to go and do night shift. I express the milk, leave it in the fridge, go out and do the night shift. You don't sleep. You do the night
Yep.
shift, you come back. In the
Wow.
morning, there's still work waiting for you.
You are amazing, and your
I have
story is
no
so inspiring. You are
I have no
amazing.
idea how
If
I
no
did
one has
all of
said
that.
that to you before, I'm saying to you, I'm sure you've heard it over and over again. You are amazing. You are amazing.
Oh dear, I
Wow.
don't even know how I did all of that.
Wow.
And God, I don't know. I have no idea how I did all of that, but
Wow.
God, God came through for
Wow.
me so
That's,
much. Yes,
that's very inspiring. Thank you for sharing your story.
you're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Yeah.
Okay, so what impact do you hope that your research will have on migrants in Australia, or is it across the world?
Across the world and in Australia.
Mm.
Yes. So, my research is very important and very timely. All right. I'm raising young leaders of tomorrow. These two women, I want them to continue with this work and push it even further. They are still very small and very young right now, but I could see the hunger in their eyes. Right now they are talking. They know a little bit. They're saying, that's mommy. Mommy has put on a graduation gown. I've already fed in their minds that, look, you can do it. You can put this on too. Now, my larger adjacent community, all the migrants out here, whatever color you are, all right? You came here as a skilled person. So make sure your skill counts, no matter how long it takes. I know our journeys cannot be the same. All right. Our journeys cannot be the same. We all have different starts. Someone will start pretty quickly. Another person will start a bit slowly. It doesn't matter. Just don't forget your identity, please. All right. I know you might say, no, I can never forget myself. That's exactly what I used to say. I said, no, no, no. I know I'm an accountant. I know. But what happened when I got finally employed as an accountant? I
Mm.
used to think of the mopping buckets. Not that it's a bad thing to mop. We all
Yeah.
we all working.
Well,
Yes.
you are not employed to mop.
Exactly. We are mothers. I'm a mother. I mop my house every day. All right. But instead of me concentrating on the job that brought me there, which is the accounts receivable and payables and taxation, I'm already thinking about the mop. Okay. So do not lose your identity. Try as much as you can to push for this goal. Push for this goal. And I know people always say, nah, I have children, so I can't do it. I had children as I was doing it. All right. I still have them right now. So it shouldn't change anything. Or rather, I have a husband, I can't do it. Or rather, for your case, you are a single mother and look, you did it. You are running a podcast. That is good. You are actually leading the shift, which is good. And these are the stories we want to see. And these are the stories we want to put out there. Okay? And you, Kenny, should not stop putting these stories out there. Put them out there. They will see. One day, one time, everybody will see the stories. Okay? And for me, I want to project the stories of these women. These 30 skilled migrant women, they gave me stories, very powerful stories. I will put these stories out there for as long as it takes, for as much as it takes, until finally we get there. We want some equitable leadership representation. We want to see these people with these skills. I mean, come on. I interviewed doctors, medical doctors. Someone did her medical degree from Russia, from the UK, but they come here, it is not recognized, right? They come here, they are working in support jobs, all right? It is so painful. It is so painful. And even if they go up the ladder a little bit in the support sector, maybe they are given the role of team lead.
Yes.
Why can't you give them general manager? I mean, this is a medical doctor, you know? We want this system to change and to change well, all right? We are not here as a threat. We are here as skilled people. We want to share this skill so that we make this beautiful country run, and so that we can also feel the satisfaction that we have used the skills exhaustively. We are not here as competition, no. Okay? We are just here to showcase the skills that the government brought us here to showcase. Yeah.
Thank you. So, what does lead the shift mean to you? When you hear the phrase lead the shift, what does that mean to you?
I think that's one of the very powerful phrases I've come across. Lead the shift, more or less like paradigm shift. Okay? When I look at this title, you know, I feel like we are moving from one class of thinking to a better class of thinking. All right? We are shifting these narratives, okay? You see, when our young people of our own color, we are walking out in the streets, or even just me and you, if I walked out in the streets and I put a hood on my head, already there's this stereotype that, that's a thief. Okay? We want that to shift. Can't I put on my hood in peace? I want when I walk in my workplace, all right, someone will not just look at me and, oh, okay, so that's the cleaning lady who's coming. Okay? That's the cleaning lady. What makes you think I don't deserve to be teaching? What makes you think I don't deserve to be the leader of this institution? You know? Also, some of my participants, and even me myself, I normally say I don't mind, yes, but I want this to be a shift. I want it to change. The moment you see me walking in a building somewhere, whether I work there or not, why would you immediately assume that this is a student? I mean, there's nothing wrong with being a student. If you're not sure who this is, you can probably ask, excuse me, miss, thank you so much for coming here. You here for studying or for teaching? Simple question, but very respectful. Okay? Instead of straight up, students use that exit, staff use this exit. Until you pull your name card, I am staff. That is very, very purposeful or subtle. I call it subtle. It's difficult to prove, because even if you go to human resource will be like, look, maybe he thought you were a student. It's a genuine mistake. It's not a genuine mistake. It's subtle discrimination. Okay? It's subtle discrimination. Could be intentional, could not be, but you know, there is always a way in which you can ask. And I'm happy that my research looks at the human resource aspect of it.
Mm.
We want to create awareness in organizations so that they can have such frameworks whereby even if you feel that this person Kenny is walking through, she's
Mm.
probably either the cleaning lady or the CEO here.
Mhm.
Even if you are new staff, there is a way in which you should get that information from them without you imposing that subtle discrimination
Yeah.
element onto them. Yes.
Wow.
And those are some of the things that my research is pushing. And that's why I feel like it resonates very strongly with your topic, or rather
Yeah.
your blog's
It's good.
title of Leading the Shift. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. So, my last question for you: what
Yes.
advice would you give to a woman who's wondering if she actually belongs in leadership, if there's a place for her as a leader? I know you said a lot already, but just to wrap it up.
Yeah. So, this is one thing I would like to tell my fellow women. It doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter how young you are. All right? You can be a leader if you purpose to be. I mean, I've graduated with this PhD at 32 years of age. All right? 32 years of age. And this is an age whereby back home, most people would not expect someone to get such a qualification. All right?
Mm.
But learn from me and from other inspiring women like yourself. All right? You can be anything you want to be. It looks like a cliche because everybody says you can be anything you want to be, but don't make such powerful words a cliche. Okay?
Mm.
You indeed can be anything powerful you want to be as long as you put your mind to it. Of course, there will be challenges. Challenges are part of the story. How will we know that you worked hard if we don't see the scars? All right?
Yes.
I
Mm.
know there is the physical scars, and then for us, for the migrant journey, there is the emotional scars. The
Mm.
psychological scars are just too many to count. All right?
Yeah.
But once you climb that bucket and get out, then you will see the difference. And while you are outside, make the difference. Make the difference. Do not stop making the difference. And I will urge you who are listening, whenever somebody like Kenny, somebody like me, or any other researcher calls you for a research opportunity to come and be interviewed, please accept. Because what better way to show solidarity
Mm.
than to open up? Your experience will be helping somebody somewhere. I am so happy and I am so proud that my story has helped so many people. So many people have run back to school. I cannot even start counting how many people have run back to school because of my experience. People have woken up, they have gone back to say, oh, okay, so it's possible. So these guys were, everybody was lying to us. No, let's go back
Mm.
to school. People have gone back to school, which is good. The only best way to do is to empower yourself, because how will you, how will you, how will we measure your value if you are not going to give us something constructive?
Mm.
And how will you give us something constructive if you don't have the know-how of what is happening in the world right now? So go back to school, empower yourselves, and come out and be an example to other people. I think that's all from me.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your time today.
You're
Thank you for
welcome.
sharing your
Yes.
very inspiring story. I almost feel like going back to school now. No, I'm not going back to
Ah!
school. But yeah, and thank you
Bless
for
you.
reminding us that behind every success story or achievement is a journey that a lot of people don't see. A lot of people don't see the tears that you cried, the times that you almost gave up. So thank you for reminding us that behind every success story, there's a journey that a lot of people do not see. I really, really
Yes.
enjoyed our conversations today. I hope you did too.
I'm glad you did. Yes, I did. Oh, I totally enjoyed it. Yes. Because I'm so happy to do it with you. As much as I'm
Mm.
happy to present it out there, but I'm
Mm.
happy when an insider perspective too, like yourself, are
Mm.
interviewing me. I feel good. Yes.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time. And
All right,
yeah.
Kenny.
Bye. And to everyone who's watching or listening, thank you for spending this time with us. My hope is that this conversation today doesn't just inspire you, but it helps you reflect on your own journey. So, Before you move on with your day, I want you to ask yourself one question. What shaped you? Because the answers to this question often shapes what we do next. Until next time, keep reflecting, keep growing, because the shift starts with you. I'm Dr. Kenny, and I'll see you in the next conversation. Bye.